Okay, so we have definitely more than 11 seconds of our disclaimer that you all have seen for a long time, so we're totally compliant. Okay, let's go. And of course, this is in honor of Gary, because none of this would have happened without Gary. And this is a picture taken at our Guayaquil farm in Ecuador before it was the farm. Gary took about 11 of us, 10 of us. We went there and he said, I need to show you all something. And we literally went there and it was solid scrub brush and not a useful place at all. And the scrub brush, and it wasn't quite jungle, but it was taking over the land and making it not useful. And Gary took us to the very top of the land and he pointed in 360 degrees and he goes, what do you think? If we do this in this field, this, and then mind you, there was no fields. It was so thick, you couldn't even hardly walk. If we plant this in this field and this, and he just went around 360. And sure enough, that's what he did. Took a few years, but that's what he did. So very powerful. Okay, so our oils. And let's see, I need to make that go away. I'm afraid to touch, whoops. No, I don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
Don't touch anything. Just keep on going.
Yeah, I can't see the top though. That's the problem.
Uh,
All right. So what do we have? We have a bioactive buffet of nature's most potent form of. Now, what do our oils do? They help us with digestion. They help us with energy. They restore proper harmonic communication in the body. They really help with our immunity. Now this is key, okay? And someone who's been diagnosed with 8 different autoimmunes, which is myself, harmony in the immune system is paramount. And that's part of what our oils do. They also work with intelligence. So one of the things our oils have the ability to do, and I'll explain why shortly, is that they truly have the ability to communicate to our cells and help them remember what it's like to function healthfully again. I'm going to say that again. Our oils have the ability, because of our processes, and I'll go into those processes shortly, they have the ability to communicate proper functionality in the cells of our body. And those of us who've had some difficult diagnoses, our cells clearly were not communicating proper harmonics and proper communication. They also have the ability to strengthen life force, and that's that vital cell core energy. And we have numerous oils, but who can guess one of the oils, just one, that has that ability? Anybody can guess? I can't see the chat, so I don't know. But what is the oil that is that leads the pack in strengthening our life force?
Frankincense.
There you go. Frankincense. That's right. It's exactly right. And then, of course, our oils have a great protection. They have a phenomenal protection, and they are programmed. They don't know how to do anything different. They also assist in communicating regeneration and our cells to restore. So this is some else of what they do. They enhance cellular metabolism. They rebalance our innate immunity. They assist with the DNA reprogramming, which is what I just talked about in proper cell communication. Something unique that our oils have the ability to do is they have the ability to not only, some people call it emotional release, but I prefer to use it as a emotional detox from that things which you no longer need or no longer serve you. Because do you want all of your emotions released? No, preferably not all at once, but also emotion is energy in motion. Emotions is what drives us. And if you really, really want to release all your emotions, like conscious languaging, no, you don't. Why? Well, because when we are happy, when we are blissfully happy, laughing and happy, do you know what that does to our immune system? It creates more T cells. That's right. When we are really happy, we create innately more endorphins. And when we create more endorphins, our T cells multiply. What are the T cells? They are the conductors and the protectors of our immune system. So that's why with emotions, you just want to really just detox those things that no longer serve us. It also helps us uptake nutrients better. That's what our oils do. They really help to restore vibrant circulatory and circulation. They help with our systems to help us purify our systems so that they can work better and get the muck out and the sludge out. They actually help to improve lymphatic flow, which is, if you look at it, it's the flow of the fluids, it's the flow of the energy, it's the flow of so many things. They help with our to be able to uptake our minerals better and mineral orientation to the body, meaning bringing the right minerals to the body. And one of the other things they do is help really with our healthy liver function. And so where do they come from? Where they're derived from plants and flowers, roots, leaves, stems, trees, bark, limbs, branches, fruit, and rinds. And they have over anywhere from 50 to 1,000 times more potent than herbs and tinctures from the additional same source. When you add in, especially those molecules, and you actually properly grow them in the right soil, you use the right heirloom seeds, you harvest them at the ideal time, and then you have a proper distillation process. So let's talk about the immunity and the survival mechanism in our plants. So plants literally, they have our world is approximately 800 different chemicals, most of them unhealthy, are presented to our world every year. So how are our plants going to survive? They have an innate intelligence in them. And when they have that innate intelligence in them, that's their survival mechanism. So that they have to evolve and they have to change and shift so that they can handle and not go into extinction. So I'm going to tell you a couple things here. Do you know that the beautiful trees, the acacia trees in Africa, how many of you know that you see pictures of them and they're shaped like an umbrella, right? They're shaped like an umbrella, the leaves. Well, that's not how they grow. What happens is they are a treat to the giraffes. They're an absolute treat to giraffes. And when the giraffe herd moves in to an acacia grove, this is what the tree does. The tree sends a signal through the air. The molecules of the leaves send a signal through the air to the other acacia trees to change their chemistry, and they become very bitter. So only a few acacia trees, then the leaves are being able to eat in. And that's why it's an umbrella shape, because the giraffes can only reach their head up so high. But so that they don't become extinct and damage the whole grove, the acacia trees send a signal through. How many of you knew that? That is this innate intelligence. It's so powerful. And so if you have an oil every year, like peppermint or another oil every year that smells the exact same, I would begin to question, because our environment is changing constantly and our plants need to change with them. And if you have an oil that smells identical year after year after year after year, batch after batch after batch, I would question the authenticity of what's in that oil. And you can't rely on labels anymore. You cannot, because most essential oil companies are regulated by the cosmetic industry, and very few are really truly regulated by the FDA. Young Living is one that the FDA has under the microscope. And ask yourself, why is that? Why is it that Young Living is one of the only companies that, and actually probably the only company that is under the microscope the most from the FDA? But yet so many other essential oil companies are regulated by the cosmetic industry. They can put anything they want on the label, anything, as long as they don't say something cures something. Okay. So let's go to, here we go. This innate intelligence, this natural evolution built into the plant is what makes it superior to anything synthetic. That's why it's called the innate intelligence of nature. And in its most pure form are Young Living essential oils. Now, there's a biological complex that's called a lock and key. Does anybody, how many of you really want to know how essential oils work? Anybody want to know how essential oils work? Okay. So here's an example of that. And this comes from Dr. David Stewart's book, Healing Oils of the Bible. That's where it comes from, this book, chapter 2. And I believe it's like around page 28, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, but you're going to want to read page 27 as well. And so start on, how many of you are bullseye people? Get to the point. You know, like if it takes too long in a conversation for somebody to get to the point, you're like, enough already, just what do you want to say? Okay, get this book. Next to our desk reference, this is the second book everyone should get. It is not a book on religion. It is a book on essential oils, how our bodies work, how our body creates dis-ease, and how everything fits together to create a really ideal positive outcome for us. And so this book, Healing Oils of the Bible by Dr. David Stewart, I'm going to suggest that everybody make it be their second book purchased. And if you're a bullseye, get to the point kind of person, read chapter 2 first. Just go right to read chapter 2 first, because a lot of what I'm going to say here comes from chapter 2. And of course, when you have oils that are put in the proper soil, when you have oils that are, okay, I think I'm done with Nick here. So I am going to just change my settings so this stops. There we go. Okay, great. So what happens is when you have plants that are grown in the proper soil with the proper mineral balance, and you have the right water, you have the right growing conditions, you have your heirloom seeds, of course, no GMO seeds, no seeds that have been altered. You have the proper organic weed control. Okay. And in case you don't know, Young Livings has been into regenerative farming since day one. Regenerative farming, that is so far beyond any other type of farming there is, because Gary was very mindful that the soil is a living organism and you need to care for the soil just as much as you need to care for everything else that is alive that you care about. So that's what we have in Young Living. And then he tests an oil anywhere from 5 to 7 years before of distilling. He distills something for 5 to 7 years before he even lets us have it. Okay. And then from that point on, the right distilling practices, the right harvesting practices. We are the only ones who do this. There's no other company that does what we do. And what's the result? The maximum benefit of the molecules that the plant has to offer us. We have the maximum benefit in the right harmonics that the plant has to offer us. Nobody else does this. And I mean nobody. I've been around the world and I see all sorts of things. And there is nobody that goes to the lengths that we do. And I still go to the farms every year. I go to harvest, I plant, because I'm there, because I still have to see for myself. And every year we do the same excellence. We literally have a environment of excellence and nothing less. And we are pretty much the only company that does this. So what does that allow us? That allows us certain molecules at the highest level in the most perfect harmonics. What does that mean? I'm going to give you an example shortly. What that means is that, I tell people, don't go on the internet to learn about oils unless you know the source and the intention of who you're learning from. Because so many people just want to sell you something, but they're phenomenal at word crafting and wordsmithing. How do you know? Unless you've had the experiences I've had, or a few others that are on our Zoom here, you don't know. You just don't know. And you're lured in by nice words and pretty pictures and no. And so here I'm going to tell you, the bottom line is this. When you have a plant that has been cared for properly and distilled properly, you have the ability to have all the molecules in the perfect levels, and even the lesser molecules. Like, for example, let's go to vitamin C. Do you know that the vitamin C has to have rutin intact? Otherwise, you can't assimilate the vitamin C, you urinate it out. Now, how many of your supplements have rutin in it with vitamin C? Good question to ask. They don't have to put it on the label. It is not FDA required. Young Living's does, because we use whole plants as part of our nutrient line. We don't use isolates. We use whole plants. And because of that, we have the activating. Do you know that there are lesser molecules in oregano that most other companies don't distill for because it takes time and that costs money? They don't distill for those lesser molecules. So they just distill for the top few molecules to get enough in there so that people can go, oh yeah, that's a good oregano. But do you know that those lesser molecules act like a buffer? They don't take away the potency, but they act like a buffer to soften the harshness. So that when you see negative things about oregano oil online, that doesn't apply to Young Living, because we distill for the whole spectrum of the molecules that the plants have to offer. There's no other company that really does that. So let's talk about different molecules. For example, aldehyde molecules are calming, okay? And monoterpene molecules literally help reprogram miswritten codes in the cellular memory, all right? Phenol molecules create unfriendly conditions where harmful microbes cannot exist, and they clean receptor sites. So let me give you, for example, what has aldehyde molecules? Well, that would be chamomile and lavender are two. What are monoterpenes? Well, let me tell you, grapefruit and cypress are two, okay? What have phenol molecules? Well, that's easy. That's oregano or cinnamon bark or clove or thyme, okay, or thieves if you want to go to a blend. What has sesquiterpene molecules? They deliver oxygen to the cells like hemoglobin does to the blood. They also erase and deprogram miswritten codes or miswritten communication in the cellular memory. I hope you understand what I just said. They erase and deprogram miswritten codes in the cellular memory. So what is that? That would be your top three. Over 98% sesquiterpene, cedarwood, sandalwood, and vetiver. Okay, that is your sesquiterpene molecules, cedarwood, sandalwood, and vetiver. So we have topical, we have internal, and we have diffusing. And Gary always said he would stand on stage and he'd make little faces when someone asked him a question that he wanted to be politically correct in his answer, but he would just make little faces. And one of them was, well, Gary, what does internal mean? And Gary would go, how about we just say, don't dump it in your eyes and don't dump it in your ears, and the rest is fair game. And so those are good rules to follow. You don't put oils in your eyes and you don't dump oils in your ears, but you can easily put them around the eyes, proper ones. I wouldn't necessarily do that with oregano. Okay. And you could easily put the oils on your finger and rub it in the ear, but do not dump oils in the ear. Okay. And that's a never, 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 never. That is not a, well, yeah, Cherie said that, but I'm still going to do it anyways. You'll regret it. Trust me, you will regret it. Okay. So one of the things that nature gives us clues, I started earlier with that. So you can look on the left and you can see, what does that look like? On the left side, that definitely looks like a tree, right? A tree branch. Well, what's on the right side? That's our lungs. So if you ever wonder what it is that we should use, like, for example, if you look at tomatoes, the inside of a tomato, it looks like chambers of the heart. And so tomatoes with the lycopene are very good for the heart, as an example. Well, tree oils are very good for our lungs. So if you really wonder where to start, take a look at nature, and nature will give us clues, okay? And then this is just a little bit about copaiba oil. And then now, this is the cool part. This is the way cool part. And this gets into why diffusing and having oils with you are so important. When a molecule connects to a matching receptor site, it sets in motion elaborate reactions with an extraordinary process that influences our cells with physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, or you can change that word for energetic responses, and any combination thereof. Usually it's all of the above. Receptors immediately trigger the first step of an infinite set of reactions. and cells actually begin to move the molecules moving towards it. So our body, you don't even have to apply the oils. Simply by being in the presence of our oils, they can be in the air, our cells actually begin to move towards the direction of the communication that that oil is giving us. Now, these oils, the molecules are so small, they're lighter than air, and they are easily absorbed through the skin. And this is the intelligence of nature. We actually smell with our brain, not our nose. This is the cool part. We actually smell with our brain, not our nose. Our nose is simply an antenna for the receptors to a world of complex communication. We have over 350 functional olfactory receptor genes. Incidentally, animals have over 1,000 functional olfactory genes. Okay, that's why if you're going to be diffusing, with your animals, make sure that you have a door open so that they can get up and leave, because we don't want to put them in sensory overload. Okay, and so here we go. Humans have over 350 functional olfactory receptor genes with 10 million smell receptors, enabling us to distinguish approximately 10 trillion scents. Now, a scent is not, oh, that smells pretty, that stinks. A scent here is actually molecules. That's right. A scent is considered a communication molecule. So you can change the word scent to communication molecule. And it doesn't stop here. This is the cool part. This is a really fun part. Did you know that sperm cells contain cell receptors to locate the egg? That's right. So how we were all created is from a smell receptor. Cool. How many of you knew that? I bet hardly any of you knew that. Sperm cells literally contain cell receptors to locate an egg. And the surface protein emits a signal that guides the sperm towards the egg. So in reality, they smell the egg. Before we are even conceived, smell is the key to our very existence. And research shows that 6 million olfactory receptor cells detect thousands of scents, odors, or communication signals. Similar ones, now this is the cool part, y'all. I really want you to get this. Similar ones were found to show up in all over our body. Communication or scent receptors were found in our skin, our kidneys, our spine, our bladder, our gut, our sinuses, our pancreas, our brain, and yes, even our muscles. Research has recently revealed that there are scent receptors in nearly every single tissue in our body, communication receptors. And of course, they are renewed every 28 days. And then this is the wonderful part, and here's the research, showed that essential oils set off a cascade of molecular signals that appeared to induce healing of injured tissue merely from inhaling essential oil molecules. Y'all, every floor of your house needs a diffuser, and be running oils in every floor of your house. I want you to get that. This research shows that essential oils, and I'm going to say specifically Young Living here because we don't have adulterants in our oils and we have the proper harmonics in our oils, set off a cascade of molecular signals that appeared to induce healing of injured tissue merely from inhaling the essential oil molecules that are floating in the air. Okay, so the next part I think we'll go in. I don't know what slide I'm on, but I want to stop this because where we're going to head next is going to be pretty fun. And all I'm going to say is a couple things. One, when our collagen comes back in stock, order it, order it, order it, order it. And it should be the first week of October. And in case you all don't know why it's out of stock, it has to do with the peach hydroceramides. And the peach hydroceramides did not get to us in time. There was a shipping delay from our supplier. But we don't do what other companies do. Other companies behind the scenes will literally, they put in a soy or wheat ceramide that they take into a lab and alter synthetically and then they throw that in their collagen. How in the heck can you create a peach ceramide from soy or from wheat and chemically alter it? So for us, I'll wait a couple weeks to get the true real deal. And the next time I present, you're gonna see why. Because you're gonna go, what, Cherie? This is not just skin. This is also gut, and it's connected tissue. Our collagen, the only thing I wish they would have done different, let's see, stop sharing. There we go. Okay. The only thing that I wish they would have done different is not call it inner beauty, because it does so much more than that. It does that and so much more. So please make sure you have it when it comes back in, because if not, you're going to wish you did. When I share everything that this amazing stuff does, and more importantly, what it doesn't do that other collagens do. Do? Is that a word? Do. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, Maria, a little humor there. Thanks for getting it. Okay, so we are going to, and here we go. So here's what I'm going to do, a little bit of what Gary did, only Cherie style. So who would like to come off mute and share with me one of the things that you would like up-leveled in your life, changed and transformed? Because this oil you all should have. It's called transformation oil. If you do not have this oil, this is an oil you all need. This oil is amazing. And were any of you at the St. Marie's farm when Gary gave me an 8-minute heads up and said, Cherie, you have to present. I need to get on a plane and leave to go pick up a part for Fort Nelson. I'm like, Gary, you're supposed to present for the next 2 hours. He goes, yeah, but I got to go. I'm like, Gary, that's in 8 minutes. He goes, yeah, I got to go. I'm like, thanks, bud. So, yes. So Charmaine said she was there. We talked about transformation. Do you remember that? Yeah, it's powerful, powerful. Okay. So who wants to come off mute?
I came off mute.
Thank you, Cherie. So what did you want? What were you wrote down that you'd like to up level in your life?
Well, I wrote down several things.
Pick
the
one.
first thing is my finances, our finances.
Okay.
That's one of the top things right now.
Okay. Great. So you ready to see how Young Living can help you with that?
Okay.
Good. Because I was hoping you were going to do that. Okay.
I can't believe you're answering my raise my hand. I thought there'd be more people putting their hand up.
We start here. So good. Okay. So Charmaine would like to have her finances up leveled in a more positive, robust direction. Okay. We've got a lot of people shaking their heads. Yes. So here's the way it works. Number one, definitely what you focus on, you strengthen in your life. So are you focusing on what you don't have, or are you focusing on what you're able to create? That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So write down some of these notes, okay? And if you're driving,
Okay.
it's going to be hard. So literally write down, what am I focusing on?
Okay.
Because what you focus on, you strengthen in your life. And again, this transformation oil, amazing. So if you're part of Young Living, definitely get on the loyalty rewards program, because that is one of the best savings account and bonuses Young Living has, because you get points for products of your choice, and you can order transformation now with those points. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So I'd start with that. And so what are you focusing on? And really shift your focus and ask yourself, what lane am I driving on? And no pun intended, because you're in your vehicle, but am I driving on a lane and a road that is going to get me to more financial abundance and financial resilience and financial robustness with my thoughts? Or are my thoughts driving on a lane of everything I don't have? Is that where my thoughts are? And how much I don't have? So take a look at what road your thoughts are traveling on and what is at the end of that road. If you were driving on a road that was not going to get you to your desired destination, would you stay on that road or would you get off that road? You'd get off. Exactly. Do the same thing with your thoughts. Get off that road. Just get off that road. Okay. Now, once you have that discipline in place, all right, then abundance oil on the bottom of your feet so that you are firmly rooted and stand firm in abundance. Abundance oil on the bottom of your feet every day. Now, you really have to watch your thoughts, because if you keep saying, I want, I want, I want, if you look up in the dictionary, the definition of want says not having and going without. And you follow scripture at all, the Bible, the Christian Bible says, want not 365 times. Why do you think that is? Every day, want not. Okay. So if you have a challenge with wanting, don't use abundance oil. You're going to get more wanting. Okay. Not more receiving, accepting. Another oil then is acceptance. Acceptance is a huge oil. I put it on my heart. I put it on my throat. And for those of you who were raised, is anybody else raised in a very critical family where there was a lot of criticism, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child type situation, a lot of criticism on the ears. If you are a person who has a hard time hearing compliments, hearing, you know, or you were raised with a lot of criticism on the ears, or you're not good enough, or you'll never amount to anything, get on all the emotional points on the ears, acceptance oil. These are powerful oils, y'all. Also, gratitude oil on the throat and the heart. Okay. Pray believing with a thankful heart, that which you've asked for, you've already received. Put your intention, speak your truth, believing with a grateful heart, that which you've asked for, you've already received. Gratitude oil on the heart and the throat. This literally keeps you in the frequency and alignment of gratitude. And next to the word love, the highest frequency oil is thank you. So you want to stay up there, because financial abundance only comes where it will be taken care of. It will not come and stay where it will not be respected and taken care of. So one of the things to do is keep yourself in that high frequency, that place of great wisdom in energetics. Okay, does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now the secret sauce. So I've given you, and the other one is joy. Joy oil on the heart and the adrenal glands. Very, very important. Y'all are getting a very special recipe here. Joy oil on the heart and the adrenal glands. Why on the adrenal glands? Because joy oil, the frequency of joy oil literally holds the adrenals at the right frequency of proper functionality. And in order to live life and live it abundantly, you have to have positive energy. You have to have positive energy. And if you need a little help, energy oil on the bottom of your feet and your adrenal glands as well. Energy oil is amazing on the bottom of the feet and the adrenal glands. Okay. And if you are a person who has an endocrine diagnosis of any kind, energy oil, you have to have energy oil on the bottom of your feet and your adrenal glands every day. Okay. And then, of course, then you have your abundance oil. And when you have all of these in place, you have gratitude, you have acceptance, you have joy. The manifestation is abundance. But how are you going to hold on to it? So here's the other thing. Gathering oil. Gary told me once, and I did a whole bunch of fun things with gathering oil. I did a lot of shifting in situations with gathering oil, and we don't have time to get into all my stories today, but they're really fun. And so gathering oil, and I would tell them the stories in class, and these engineers had come up, all these really strong left brain gentlemen, and I'd say, prove me wrong, prove me wrong. And they'd try and prove me wrong, and they'd be, dag nabbit, Cherie, 2-3 months later, they go, dag nabbit, that stuff works. Okay. And so this is one of the keys that is really helpful. So gathering oil, you ready for it? And I put it on my shoulders. I put gathering oil on my shoulders. It is for the successful completion of a task, a mission, or a desired outcome. A successful completion of a task, a mission, or a desired outcome. Gathering oil. And what it does is it creates circumstances, coincidences, and situations for the fulfillment of the successful completion of a task, a mission, or a desired outcome. So your desired outcome is to have a robust and resilient financial immunity, financial immune system, right? So my question is, how many people are you sharing and living with? That's the key. How many people are you sharing and living with? Because Young Living pays us very generously these amazing referral bonuses
Mm-hmm.
and leadership bonuses. So, you know, if your spending is in check, then amp up your service. Amp up your service. Because if you, how many of you feel sharing is selling? Well, there's a book called The Greatest Salesman in the world or on the earth by Og Mandino. If you haven't seen that book, it's a really good book. But the bottom line is when you outserve the need, you outserve the need, you do not have to worry about the word sales because the solution is in alignment with outserving the need. So go find the needs of others and help them find their solutions in Young Living. And you will have your financial resiliency and your financial abundance. Does that make sense? Does that sound scary and uncomfortable to you?
Thank
No?
you.
It
No.
doesn't?
No.
Okay. So I just threw a lot at you all in 7 minutes. I just gave you all the secret sauce in 7 minutes, but it's all about outserving the need. We have solutions that nobody else in the world has. Nobody. There is nobody in this world that has what we have unless they are a part of Young Living. And I have a saying that goes, make it as easy as possible, or excuse me, make it as simple as possible for someone to join Young Living and make it as easy as possible to share Young Living. I'm going to say that again. Make it as simple as possible for somebody to join Young Living and make it as easy as possible for somebody to share Young Living. Okay. And so, Charmaine, your job right now is to get your thoughts in alignment. If you can, just ask myself, are my thoughts on the road that I want to end up on that destination? Okay. It's that simple. Now, is it easy? No, not always, but is it simple? Yes. Say, are the road my thoughts on? You got to do a course correction here. Are the road that my thoughts are on, is it, if I keep traveling down this road, is it going to get me to my desired end result? Maybe I need to switch roads with my thoughts. And then use the oils and then overserve. Just serve like crazy, serve the needs of others, bring them the solutions they're looking for through Young Living. And you'll be surprised at what comes back at you. Okay.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. So, okay, guys, it's 1 minute on the hour, and I do apologize for the long delay in the beginning of getting this figured out, but I think next time we're going to barrel through, and we're going to do the same thing next time. And Stacy, if we need to do a part 3, can we do a part 3 if I need to?
We sure can do a part 3. And just thank you so much. And I love what you just said as well. It's just like, you know, over serving others. And so, you know, if we help others do whatever they need, it's just so much reward back to all of us and just paying it forward. So, and the blessings definitely come back with Young Living as well. So it's very exciting. Cherie, that was fabulous information, and we'll get this recording out to Splash and to the other locations. So we'll make sure you have a copy as well to get it to the people you want to share it with. And then 2 things. One is we have the business call coming up in a second with Aaron Rogers. And then we also, just just in case everyone knows, or make sure everyone knows, is that we have the link, of course, about how to get to these calls. But the password was changed when we started doing this new platform to grow with a capital G and then small case ROW, just in case you hear someone having trouble getting on and that kind of thing. So it's a capital G. That was my fault. I had a capital G and I didn't realize it was case sensitive when we changed platforms. But now that we have it, it was like, do we change back or not? So really sorry about that inconvenience if it's been that for you. But Cherie, part 2, part 3, 4, 5, I don't know. So whatever we need.
I just hope it was helpful. I hope people learned, and most importantly, I hope they feel lifted up. I hope they feel lifted up. That's what it's all about for me.
I think they do, and this will be one that people want to re-listen to because of all the fabulous information that you gave with reading between the lines, perhaps. So, okay, so we're going to stop this recording and stay tuned with us for Aaron Rodgers if you like. Just 1 second.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.